curious, when you scored your first goal with Man U, after being in Mexico the whole time, transferring from Mexico right to Man U, did you believe that you were meant to be there with those players and in that league? Did you feel like, I'm just as good as everyone here, I deserve to be here?
Yeah.
Or did you doubt yourself? And how did that first goal feel?
Wow. Look, Luis, right now I can be completely sure that in that time when I was a kid, because I said I was a kid because it was 20, like mentally and emotionally, I was 22. I was already becoming a man. But I mean, like emotionally and mentally, and learning a lot about emotions, mindset, a lot of stuff. It was, I don't want to look bad, at least.
Yeah.
So that
don't
makes
mess
me
up.
thrive, right? Then don't mess up, at least.
Jeez.
That right now, I learn and it comes now from a different place, obviously. But in that time was like, don't mess it up, right? So that don't mess it up helped me to be aware of how I'm not gonna mess it up. If you don't know what's messing it up with what, you need to be very aware. So that give me an advantage of like be more aware about my teammates, about what they do, what I have to do, what probably I shouldn't be doing. And then in the field, I'm a constant observer of what other people are doing great. And if it goes with me, I want to learn it. If it doesn't go with me, that type of decisions, I don't take it since I was a kid because of my family. So that's why I was like, I don't want to like look bad, first of all. And then that goal came in Wembley. That it was even a funny one because the ball was a little behind. I slept, I shoot, but then the ball goes, I shoot it, but the ball goes to my face, and then it goes in.
And then it goes in.
It was even a peculiar goal.
Hey, it went in though. It's like,
even,
go.
It even makes, like, they impact more people because it was funny.
Right. It wasn't like a clean strike.
It's the one of the transfers. First goal in Wembley, playing a competition. He scores, they won, and how he scores, right?
Right.
Crazy. So after that goal, yeah, I was like, yeah, I meant to be here. And something of like, I can. Of course I can. I can. And something as well that I always been thriving, it's I can and I will. That's something that, yeah, my family and myself always speak about it, even with the love languages and the way that you speak with yourself. It's like, it's different that you can, but you can speak and say, I will. It's more brave to say, I will, and then if you didn't make it, be humble enough to say, I didn't make it.
I didn't make it, yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. So, this is amazing. I love hearing the mindset and the story behind this. And you mentioned early on that your family always kept humility within you, right? They focused on celebrate you, but also talk about what you can do to get better. When did you feel the most humbled in your career and also personally in your life? Was there a game or a season or an experience or something in your career that truly humbled you? And in your life, when did you feel the most humbled?
I'm going to take back the story way more because I'm going to explain you this type of humbleness that a lot of people don't know, because I think most people are used to, when you speak about humbleness, that there's like a success, so you don't levitate, right? So you take down. For me, it was the other way around always. I never, even though I don't want to say never, of course we'll have moments that you feel a little bit hyped and different. Obviously, we are humans. But my humbleness always was about self-confidence. It was the other way around.
Did you have self-confidence?
I didn't have that much. That's why the humbleness, because in my opinion, humbleness is not only about don't feel more, as well as don't feel less. And in my life, it's not being about feeling more ever. It's the other way around. Don't feel less. That's the humbleness. That was the lesson that I'm going to tell you right now. Those moments of my life that it was incredible. The story about the World Cup and everything, then of course I got my debut, and in my debut I scored a goal, right? And it was amazing. But then, since I got my debut, we went champions in that time, everything. But since my debut, just to put like a time lapse, 2 years, Lewis, were one of the toughest 2 years in my life, because then after that I didn't play as much that I want. I had so many difficult and unpleasant experiences about not being, for example, telling you are not gonna come even in the bench. You need to travel now in a bus 6 hours with the second team division, but from one day to another, back like stuff
With
like.
Man U.
No. With Chivas still.
Oh,
with
gotcha,
Chivas. This
gotcha,
is
yeah,
before
yeah,
everything.
gotcha.
Before everything. This is even after the World Cup of the under-20s in Mexico. So, but the humble part comes here. Again, I was with my mother at that time. My father was traveling because of the managing work, right? So, one time, I supposed to travel with the first team, and in that moment when you knew, for example, it was the locker room. You know, you are 20 to 30 players in the locker room, first division locker room, okay. But then one day before every match, if in your place you have a piece of paper, it means you are like called up for the game. You are involved. You are in the squad for that game. If you don't have the sheet, you need to go and ask like the second assistant, what's gonna happen with me? Do you want me to like training tomorrow, or you go and play with the other team, or you have days off, or whatever, right? Okay. So that one is like I saw a sheet over there. So in those moments were like tiny like victories for me. Of course, it's like the step of the ladder. You know, you need to be involved in the column. Then if you come in, make an impact, and then of course, okay. Then the next day, I come with my bag and everything. And then I was changing, and they told me, "Hey, the manager needs to speak with you." And okay, I go. So I go, and I was even thrilled over, oh, he'll speak with me. Probably something will change. The other way around, he told me, "Look, Javier, we did a mistake. My assistant," I say, "So whatever. You shouldn't supposed to have this sheet. And the thing is, you need to go to your house. The problem is the second team already traveled, so you're not gonna play that weekend. So tomorrow I want you to come and train by yourself with a fitness coach over there, obviously. But yeah, right now we don't need you to train here. So if you wanted to go home, like go home." Oof. In that time, it was like, wow, okay. And the humble part comes here, because then my mother picked me up. We have chats and stuff, and we were in the laundry room in my house, because I remember it. And the humbleness that I felt the most humble was, again, my mother told me, "Son, I've been talking with your father. I've been talking with a lot of people about like, because of course we can have doubts that if you are not good enough, we want to see it, because as well that could be a gift for you too, you know, to be on time to pivot, you know." And with all the objectiveness, you are good enough. Your parent, like your father, sorry, will tell you.
Right. If he doesn't think you're good enough.
I will tell you. I've seen so much games. I'll tell you if you're not. So do that. And now I want you, son. From now on, he said, "I'm over," and she said, "From now on, no expectations. I don't know what you need to do, what you have to do. I'm gonna be here to help you. Play for the love of the game. Don't forget the love of the game. Don't keep trying to achieve. Love the game. Love the game. Go back and train like if you're already playing first division. If you were the key player of that team, play like that, train like that, feel like that." I don't know how, it's difficult. And again, you need to trust, son, in things that we cannot see, things that they are not tangible. You need to keep trusting. And she asked me again, you want to be a soccer player, like a professional soccer player right now? And I was like, "Of course, yes, mom, of course, right?" So you need to do that. So the humbleness come of like she telling me, find the self-confidence in these moments. Because when you score goals, it's nice, it's better, it's easier. But in those moments where you are again going through pain, through those ideas that you need to break, because of course your ego is telling you are not worth enough, you deserve this, blah blah blah, etc. Stop. So that moment was a breakthrough, Luis, because that moment start slowly putting in practice what my mom told me, right? That it's like, do it for the passion and love. Go and enjoy it. Don't enjoy. They tell you you're going to the bench. Oh, like don't get don't give the power to the outcome. Give the power of the love of the game, and giving everything. So you know deep inside if you every training give everything or not.
Right.
Things can come your way or not, but if you keep giving everything, you are, like she said. She always said this. You are investing. You are investing. If you give everything, no matter the outcome, you can have bad trainings or good trainings. But if you keep giving everything, and she said it in this way, if you keep giving your heart, putting your heart into every training, you are investing. And that was one of the most humble moments, Luis, because I felt, I swear, I don't even know how I did it, because I trust so much in my family, in them. And they were like a mirror for me that I had to trust to myself. The things start like working out. I started playing more, and then the story that we already know. So that was the moment.
Wow, man.
In that laundry room, it's gonna stick forever in my life, because it was the other way around. That's why I tell you of the humbleness. It wasn't that I scored 3 goals and my mother tried to, hey, come on, hey, let's see, put your feet in the ground and
But
stuff like that.
when you were failing, she was building you up.
Yes, and I think, thankfully, I've been failing so much, and I didn't avoid the failing, the failing and the feelings.
The feelings.
The feelings that come with the failing, the consequences of that were that I was able to grow, and then to live the experiences that I've lived.
Yeah, because you felt the pain, you felt the sadness, and then it made you focused and continue to have a good attitude. And the world makes room for passionate people. Yes. If you show up passionate with your heart to something every day of practice, it becomes undeniable how valuable you are to a situation or a team or a relationship.
Yeah.
So if you just show up with passion and a good attitude, if you've got the talent, people will recognize it.
For sure.
You'll have an opportunity.
For sure. And I'm still am. You saw me the other day. I'm so passionate about this. I love it. I love it.
That's good, man.
I love it.
Yeah, it's fun, man.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I've got a bunch of other questions for
Go
you.
for
But speaking about just soccer with Mexico, what is one thing you wish the country of Mexico really knew about you? Because they know about all the goals you scored and the World Cups and the Premier League championships and your father and grandfather. They know the Chicharito, but what do you wish they knew about Javier?
Look, Luis, I'm a believer, and I think you too, about that everything happens for a reason, and they needed to happen in that way, right?
Yes.
In our paths. But as well, I will say, like, in the past 5 years, let's say, more or less, 5 to 6 years, they are knowing parts of Javier that I didn't show in the past. Not because I was hiding them, it was because I was believing to some of the noise of telling me how I should behave. That but what people don't know is I'm still behaving in that way, but I am a human being. I'm starting embracing Javier. So if Javier as a human make a mistake in something, he's a human. If Javier or Chicharito don't score a goal, his value is still the same as a human being.
Wow.
In the business, of course, he's probably doing good or not good. Consequences will happen. But I am still a human being. The worth of a human being doesn't come with how much goals I score, or how much money I earn, or how many photographs I could say, or how many autographs I can sign. That's not the value of a human being, right? So that's something that I'm doing now. So to answer your question, could it be like being more authentic and more vulnerable earlier? Probably. And yeah, I think that will be it. But I'm doing it now, right?
So
yeah, I'm doing it now.
Good,
so
man.
yeah, I'm trying to keep it up,
That's good, man. That's good, man. What do you wish the Mexican people knew about you that they don't know? You talked about, you're a human being, and yes, your worth is not determined by how successful and how many goals you have and these things. And you're being more authentic and opening up in general. But what is it you wish they really knew about you?
I will take the opportunity, something that I said before, but I'm gonna say it again, Luis, because I don't think people really believe in what I'm gonna say. Whatever I can say, whatever I can do, whatever mistake I did, whatever accomplishment I did, whatever interview, whatever word, whatever action, whatever it is, it never, ever, ever, and I could say never that, even though I'm not perfect, and I did it, like I said, when I was a kid, but I never felt that I have more value or less value than another human being, brother. I swear on my kids' life, ever. If I did the mistakes, it's because I did the mistakes. I'm a human being. If I achieve stuff because it's not that I'm better. I'm doing different things and in a good way to achieve that. But that achievement doesn't make me going to bed and say, oh, I'm better than Lewis. Oh, I'm ever. Because the only, I don't know how to call it, but let's say, the only person in the world that I want to beat is my ego.
Really?
Of course. My ego is telling me, ego is the challenge, I believe. Ego is something that I learned. The ego is like your rival in a very cool way. So every night I'm trying, like say, I give everything, I put my heart on it, and I think we have a good battle, ego, in a good way. When it's very positive, and some others, you know, those days that are very frustrating them, and then you probably like, okay, you won, no, just today, but then tomorrow. So things like that. So that's something that I would love them to believe in the core, that I love to share. You know me, Luis, from 1 month ago. I love to share, and my shareness doesn't come with being, how do you say, pretentious, or because I want to share. It's so much love to tell the people that I love. I experienced this, like, and if you learn from it, I feel even like share my path, and whatever whoever wants to take even a small piece or nothing, my sharing with the most love, it's something that makes me feel so much peace. So much peace. Because for me it's like, oh, I learned something, I want to share it, and if that new skill, that experience, like the fun and the joy that I experience, I want people to experience. So the only way that I want to share it. So sometimes with this passion, as you can see, right? I can understand when people can misunderstand that could look like a little bit presumptuous or a little bit like showing off. I can understand. But I swear it doesn't come from there.
Sure.
It comes from a pure love of like let me share you. You know, like I came to school of greatness, man. It's like I want to share it with my guys, not to make them. It's the other way around. It's like because as well something that we talk about of air is, and you know this. I'm a believer that if I can, anyone can. In that sense, I don't believe that I have something different or I'm special than anyone. The only thing is I learn to be brave. And I think bravery, every one of us can be brave. I don't think there's no, unless, of course, we know that there are people that probably they're diagnosed with some situations, stuff. But if you are completely healthy in that sense, we all can be brave. Brave is not a quality that I have special. No, it's something that I'm doing that I hope a lot of people could do. The bravery of feel the pain.
Yeah, man.
Feel the pain.
Man. Now I'm curious about the difference between the mindset of a champion and someone who never wins a championship. You've been a champion many times. Oof. You've played against champions where you weren't the champion. You didn't win, but you played against other champions. You won championships, but you have a mindset of a champion. What is the difference that you've seen of all the other champions out there and those that never win a championship or just never get the opportunity to because their mindset's not there? What's the difference between that?
Wow, very interesting subject, Luis, because I think I'm trying to put it in these ways more tangible in a way, like more of a process, because I agree with you. The thing is, look, I think if you, first of all, in my point of view, because that's what I live, is the passion about it. Honestly, if it doesn't make you feel scared while you are dreaming, in my point of view, you could do it good enough.
Right.
But to be a champion, because it's good, because the passion and the love, you know what love is. Love sometimes, and most of the times, it's not only love. Love is accept some stuff, let go some other, feel unpleasant moments. So I think after the passion, it's if you deeply enough with your consciousness and your inside work don't feel that it's tough emotionally, it's tough mentally, and it's tough physically, if you maintain that, that's the thing. The road to the championship, I think, it shouldn't be pleasant.
Right.
It shouldn't be fulfilled. You shouldn't find the joy, but it's not pleasant. It shouldn't be suffering either. Don't get me wrong. It's not about suffering. Don't go to those extremes. But it should be hard most of the time. Hard even of like, I want to go and have a dinner and this fear of missing out, that kind of stuff. Probably don't having some relationships with people because they can drag you down, or at least they're not letting you space for energy to just shine because you're not available, because of course it's very demanding, man. It is.
So we won champion.
It is. I always said it that I gave my youth and like my adolescence, my puberty, and a lot of things to the sport. Like I didn't leave them. I didn't go to too much parties when I was 20, 21. I didn't know how to engage women because I didn't have the practice, right? I didn't have social skills because I was so
focused. Yeah, you were.
Man, yeah. So I think, in my opinion, that could be a difference. It's the process, man. It's the process. And don't get me wrong, and I learned this from Canelo Alvarez that I talked with him the other day. He was, and I think he was right. I never look at it. A part of all of that, if you are not completely critiqued by yourself, and if you don't see talent, and you're objective with yourself, you don't see talent, don't expect greatness.
Right.
Talent is a part of it, even if it's a small amount, but you need to have talent for
You
something.
have to have some talent. Yeah.
Some, as well. A part of all that structure, as well, you need to have the talent to be a champion.
Yeah.
So
Love that.
I think that's it. And I want to keep mentioning it because that's a word that is like a mantra for me, and that's something that I want to say. And be brave, man.
Be brave. Yeah.
And the bravery, people think is just the bravery to try to live the good experiences. No, be brave to be in the stage, right? Be brave to do, yes, that bravery I'm talking about. The other bravery is like, heal yourself. That requires bravery. Embrace uncertainty.
Yeah.
That requires a lot of bravery. Miss people. Love people in ways that probably are not the ways that you want. Like, they're not here. Like, my grandfather is not here, and how I'm loving, and I feel love to him. The relation that I have with a person that is not in this world, in this, like, simulation. How, like, be brave with those small battles daily. I don't think you get to be a champion. I think you need to become a champion since day one. And prepare, work, give, pay prices, sacrifice since day one. So it's very important, I think, to be so humble. We were speaking about this before. So humble that you need to learn. And my family teach me that without teaching me that, right? Because I trust so much in them because my father, like, I have tangible evidence that my dad